Hey everyone, NW Order for Life here with Lord Marksman and Vanadis episode 7 review. Um, Starts off with Sophie. In the previous episode, she was trying to help Tigre and Elen get away, and now she's using this light-based magic from her staff. And she makes this wall of light, and Roland cuts through it with Durandal, and her staff is telling her that he's dangerous, and she stalls him a little longer, blocking his attacks, and then she uses a technique, whatever, to turn herself into light and disappear. So at first I thought it'd be like a mirage technique because it's called like Mirashim or something, but yeah, I don't think it was, and I think she like teleported out. So we see we find out that the king is sick. The king of Roland is very sick, and Thenardier, the Duke of Thenardier, and someone else is pretty much running the show right now, which explains why Tigger has been branded a traitor or whatever. And this is what they tell Roland, that Tigger is a traitor and he's trying to usurp the throne and all that stuff like that. And Roland actually gets different news from his like first in command. He tells him that from what he understands, Thenardier is trying to destroy the town of Alsace, and Tigger is only defending it. And Roland is like, well, as long as he is using, Zected soldiers or whatever, that's enough for me. Like, if there's Zected soldiers on our borders, that's enough for me to fight. But Roland makes a point of saying that he does not believe those two, and that he wants to hear from the king. So then we find out Sir Malchus. And by the way, Tigger is unconscious too. He's unconscious and in bed, whatever. But Sir Malchus returns from when he was sent out a couple of episodes ago. He was the one that came back to Alsace, and Lim was, in command at that time. And Lim, he didn't trust Lim, and Tigger had to explain who she was. Lim being the number one captain or whatever of Ellen's guard, and he went on a journey to try to get like the king's pardon for Tigger. And what ended up happening was he found this friend of his in the castle, and this friend of his brought him to the king's bedchamber, or the king's personal, room, whatever. And the king is inside playing with blocks, and it seems like the death of his son, the prince, which I believe happened early on in the show. I don't think it was the Xeon Commander guy. I think it was the first Prince of Brune or something. But the son's death has made him go insane. Yeah, because the Xeon Commander guy was the Thenardier's son. Yeah, so it's definitely like the prince at the very beginning. Anyway, his death has caused like the king to go nuts and play with blocks and like ignore reality, and basically Thenardier and this other guy are in control of the kingdom, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So Tigger is in bed, and Ellen kind of like has a moment with him. She resolves to fight for him, and she's gonna go get revenge on Roland. And she and her army set out, and then Tigger is awakened by the Black Bow, and the Black Bow is telling him to go somewhere, and Tita follows him because she was at his bedside, and they go. And again, Tigger was laying in bed because he was slashed by Roland in the previous episode, so he's really badly injured. So he goes to this ruins or whatever, someplace that this goddess of Tir Na Fa, and Tir Na Fa is apparently like the goddess of night and darkness and death or something like that, and she possesses Tita, the maid, and says that if he wants power, then he has to shoot Tita. And somehow he shoots her with this magical arrow that disperses impacts. Like before it hits Tita, it like uses magic to push itself to, I guess, make it slower. So like when the arrow actually hit her, the magic of it or the power of it was enough to erase her clothes, I guess, if I'm trying to make this sound logical. But the actual force of the impact was negated because of the magic pushing outward toward her chest. This is what I'm thinking, so I don't know. Probably not, but anyway, so Tir Na Fa says that Tigger's got the power, like, and she looks forward to him mastering it in the future. I don't know what she's referring to, but on the battlefield, Sophie has joined Elen because she says that she is interested in Tigger too. This was before the battle, and Elen said Tigger is mine, and they were joking about that. And they have this strategy where they use water and they try to make the ground muddy and catch Roland's troops in the mud and pelt them with arrows. And then Ellen's trying to lead, not Ellen's troops, I mean Roland's troops in the mud, and pelt them with arrows. And then Elen is trying to lead Roland away from the main group to try to isolate him, where her and Sophie can fight him. But they're not having an easy time. They're using, at one point, Elen even uses her sword skill to make like, a giant wind storm kind of thing that like almost looks like a small tornado around Roland and hurt him. But even that, he cuts through it with Durandal, and then he resolves to finish them or whatever. But Tigger appears, and then Durandal actually wants to talk with Tigger for a second, and he asks Tigger, why are you doing what you're doing? And Tigger says to protect, Alsus and for the people. And Roland again, says something to the effect that, like, well, as long as you oppose the Empire, or as long as you oppose the Brune Empire, I've got no choice but to fight you, for the king and whatever that was. And Tigger uses this black arrow, or one of his regular arrows on the black bow, whatever, but like it has like this black force, like it's coated in black energy, and it shoots like like a shooting star kind of thing, like how those arrows look. And Roland tries to cut it with his sword, and he's successful in blocking the attack for the most part and stopping it. But then he says like something to the effect that he can't raise his arms anymore, and his resolve has been like too shaken, or like his heart is telling him that like the person he's fighting is in the right, something towards that effect, that he felt it through the arrow or something, and he just doesn't have the resolve anymore to pick up his arms, or I don't know if he can't physically do it. It might be a combination of both. And he surrenders to Tigger's army and lets Tigger advance to go take out Thenardier. And that's pretty much how the episode ends, I believe. I thought that it was a good episode. I didn't like Tir Na Fa because I felt like they pulled her out of nowhere. Like some random goddess who has the power to give our hero a power-up is like way Deus Ex Machina for me. I don't like it at all. I didn't like how Sophie decided to basically join Tigger for like the reason that she likes him. Because what? I mean, she's risking war with Brune, because she's there as a representative of Zekted, and she's risking war, so that doesn't make any sense. And yeah, Roland kind of gave up too easy, I felt like, like should have been a better explanation for defeating Roland. It could have been handled a lot better. Not just the explanation, but the actions or whatever. And yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. But the battles, it felt more like a war battle this episode, more emphasis on the cavalry battles and tactics and stuff. So it was pretty good. But yeah, so I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10. Not too great, not too bad. Just okay. It's good. And yeah, I'm not really excited about the show anymore, though. That's the truth of the matter. I don't really know what they're doing with Tigger or Elen. It seems like Tigger's only resolved to take down Thenardier, whereas I know Elen wants to do more. She likes to fight and she likes to conquer. So is she gonna get her thoughts changed on what to do, or is he gonna get his thoughts changed? I don't know where they're going with this. I'm assuming it's just gonna end after Thenardier is defeated, maybe an anime only ending or something, because I believe the manga is still going. And yeah, so kind of disappointing, but whatever. I'll stick with the show and we'll see how it goes. So 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Please rate the video. Give it a thumbs up or whatever if you like it. Comments below, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about regarding the episode, the manga, whatever. I don't know. And please subscribe for more of these videos in the future. We're only on episode 7. Other anime videos I do too. I also do game reviews, and I'm gonna do some unboxing videos. I've done one. So, yeah, thanks. Have a great day, guys.